Sketchbooks have long been the trusty companions for so many artists just like me, and I can't imagine what it would be like to not have a place where I can experiment and explore my art. Hi, my name is Jen, and I am an artist slash illustrator currently based in Austin, Texas. And today I'd like to take you along on a little tour of my most recent sketchbook. So please feel free to make yourself comfortable, grab a little snack and a drink, and let's just get right into it. Here is my most recent sketchbook. I got the sketchbook in a pack of 3 off of Amazon, and I don't remember the name of the brand that these sketchbooks are, and I'm not going to look them up because I just do not recommend this book. It is very cheap and it works. It has the blank pages, the cover is very thick. But if you're going to be carrying this around with you, I just don't see that this will be a good fit because it has already started falling apart on me, which is why I don't think it's a good option, and I'll show you where I have the issue with it. Anyways, let's just get right into it and open it up and take a look at what's on the inside. So on the first page, I always like to write when I start my sketchbooks, and for this one, as you can see, I started in August 2022. So I've been in here for a little bit over a year. And just to get started in here, I wanted the first pages to feel very simple and easy. I didn't want to feel stressed about the first page, it's the scariest page to start, so I just drew some random things that came to mind, and I just really didn't care to make this page perfect. And then here is where you can already start seeing how the binding of the book is coming undone. But as far as this page goes, again, we have some just random doodles here. This is actually my go-to method for when I want to spend any time in my sketchbook, and if I don't have time to do an illustration or if I just want to get some daily art, this is what I do. Moving on, we have even more doodles, and on this page, I added the first few bits of color. Sometimes what I draw in here is also relevant to the current or upcoming season. So if you remember, I only started the sketchbook in August, but as you can see, I was already thinking about Halloween. I just love October, and also as a small business owner, I kind of have to start thinking ahead if I want to design things for a particular season. But I just really like being very loose in here and adding little spots of color. Then we have more ideas and brainstorming for spooky things that I might want to do for a shop update. I realized very quickly after just the first few pages that I really did not like the sketchbook. So I just tried my best, and I ended up trying to draw larger sketches and doodles than I normally do, just so that I can get through it hopefully more quickly. I like this page a lot, and creating this landscape drawing is something that I have been meaning to do more of, and so hopefully soon I'll feel more confident to tackle something like this. Oh, and I should probably mention that most of these doodles and sketches are all done with the same brush pen. But in my sketchbook, you'll see a lot of similar doodles like these houses and this flower. I do make a lot of random doodles, but I often find myself coming back to my favorite ones. So here is when I decided that I wanted to update my website, and I started to plan it out, as you can see. And it's been over a year since I started planning this and to even think about it, and over a year later, I still have yet to do it. I just know it's going to take a long time, so I've been kind of putting it off. Here we have some thumbnail ideas for an illustrations that I wanted to do. I think they were for art challenges that I was planning on joining. Here's more of my planning for what I wanted my website to look like. And because the page was looking a little sad, I decided to add in these quick, colorful little doodles. These are the initial sketches I did for some original characters that I created. The idea was brewing in my head for a long time, so I wanted to actually put them down on paper. And I wanted to create these animals that were colored or had the skin that looked like different fruits. So, for example, I did an apple bear and I did a banana monkey. And I also wrote down what I imagined that their likes or dislikes would be, their traits, and even I wrote some name suggestions. I also did a strawberry lion, Then I was deciding between a kiwi or an orange for the frog, and I actually ended up going with the kiwi. Okay, so now we can see how bad the binding really is in this book. Like, I wasn't that many pages in, and it already was falling apart, and it's literally being held by just a few strands. But anyways, moving on, at the time, I had some washi tape designs that I had made, and so I wanted to swatch them in here to remember them. Here was another character I made. This is the blueberry bee, and on this page, I just wrote some notes and details about the different characters I wanted to make. And I really like this concept, and clearly I was very excited about it, but it didn't really go that far. So maybe this is something that I should also try to come back to. Here are more doodles of, just different things. Some are just ideas that pop in my head, and others are of things that I've seen that I just really like. For example, when I'm scrolling through Pinterest or on social media, if I see something that I really like, I sometimes like to draw them in here. And we have some more fun little doodles, and here I added in one of my stickers. This is actually a sticker that I've redesigned, so the newer one looks just a little bit different. Then I got some crayons, and I just wanted to add some color to these pages. On this page, I just have more thumbnails for more ideas. These sketches are for the Apple a Day series that I actually haven't done in a while, so maybe I should get back into that too. And over here, we have just a giant thumbnail because, like I said, I just want to fill up the space. Here is another big and quick thumbnail, as well as some birthday card ideas, and I also added these misprints for my buttons and another sticker. So I don't know what the date was at this time, but it was probably, I'm guessing, in late September, and I was already thinking about Christmas and what I wanted to create for my shop update. So I just was working on some initial sketches, and this is a sticker from one of my Peachtober prompts that I did in this year, which is something that we will get to very soon. And here I also added in one of my business cards because I wanted to make sure that I had one for myself. And like I said, now we're into the Peachtober planning stage of my sketchbook. I really was trying to participate every single day, so I tried to make sure that I was very prepared. And I also wanted to incorporate different prompts from other lists, so I wrote some of those on the side here to think about when I'm planning and try to mix them in. And these are just the thumbnails that I made for the prompts, and some of them you might recognize if you've been following me for a while or if you scroll down back to my Peachtober section of my Instagram feed. After a bit of planning, I felt like I needed a break, so I went back to what I like to do, which is these quick brush pen sketches and doodles. But right after that, I got back right into the Peachtober prompts and sketches, and I added these extra doodles much later because the space was just feeling kind of empty and I just wanted to fill that up. Here are, again, more Peachtober ideas. I was trying to be very loose at this point because I didn't want to put a lot of energy into the sketches, and I would rather much spend my energy towards the digital illustrations instead. You can see that these sketches are very bare bones, and I just wanted to get the gist of my idea down. Then you can see that, I started skipping a few days, so I went back later to fill this space with other things. Then we can start to see that I was really losing steam and that I wasn't going to be doing every prompt anymore. I skipped these days, and I was still trying to do days that I felt more inspired to do instead. Then again, I needed another break from Peachtober, so just right back to what I'm comfortable with, these fun little doodles. And I decided just to add some color here and some more stickers. There are Peachtober stuff happening in the back here, but on top, I just added these memo sheets of cute drawings that I had lying around in my desk, so I decided to just stick them here to fill up this space. Here are more sketches and me just figuring out ideas for the remaining Peachtober prompts. This one turned into an illustration, and this one turned out very differently. This one I think I wanted to do, but I ended up skipping, and this was just a quick random drawing that I added later. And then we are back to planning the Christmas and winter shop update. I decided that I wanted to create some washi tape designs, but ultimately I ended up not doing it and instead focused on creating products that I can make myself here at home. Yeah, I made sketches from ideas, but like I said, none of these became anything. During this time, I decided that I wanted to redesign some old sticker designs because I just felt like my style and my skills had changed a lot and improved. So this is where I was starting to rethink some of those ideas. This is just a random splotch of acrylic ink, and I tried drawing over it with a white Posca pen. And it's kind of hard to see what's happening, but I was just, having fun, putting all kinds of ideas down just to fill up the space in the spread. These brush pen doodles were added much later to the page because, again, it was just so bare with this single peached over sketch. And at this time, I decided to start my own newsletter. And with it, I wanted to offer a set of, free digital wallpapers as a thank you to those that signed up. So this is just where I was working on the idea for my very first wallpaper. Here, I was working on sketches for the graphics that I wanted to include in my newsletter. I'm actually not using these anymore, but it's just nice to see the first ideas that I had here. And over here, I just did some Halloween sketches and doodles. I can't remember exactly what these are for though. But that's okay because then we get right into Christmas. This Shrek doodle was added much later, and it was actually part of an Instagram stories doodle suggestion that I often like to do. But most of the space was just for any Christmas ideas that I was thinking about. And then more planning and sketching designings here, but this section was added much later. These are just notes and me trying to figure out what I needed to make, and I was just going through the list of things that I needed to do. So I was focused on Peached Over, and then I went right into Christmas, and I realized that I should probably also include some fall designs here and there because, why not? I made a whole list and was feeling very ambitious to create all these new things. My sketchbook is just all over the place because then we're right back into Christmas things. These were sketches for more wallpaper freebies, and this was actually for the December newsletter. So I was working through some potential ideas that I wanted to do, and I had this empty space on this side, so I came back to fill it up with this flower that I just love to draw now. Here are more of the Apple a Day sketches, and then I was already thinking about the next shop update that I wanted to have for Valentine's Day, and then I came back to writing down things that I wanted to change for my website. I knew there was a lot of things that I wanted to do and that it could possibly take a while, so I really tried planning it out and write down those details of the changes that I want to make, but I still have yet to come back to it. But it is one of my goals for the next year that I will do. Here I was figuring out how I wanted the layout for the instructions for my Christmas digital downloads to look like. I had made some printable gift tags and greeting cards, so this is where I planned those instructions out. And then right back into Valentine's Day sketches and plannings. I'm really realizing how all over my mind is when I'm using my sketchbook, but I just love it and I really do need this space, so I'm happy to have it. These are some more doodle suggestions that I got from my Instagram stories. And here is more Christmas things and some ideas for New Year's designs that I was thinking about making. Since it was so close to the end of the year and started the new one on time to start making, resolutions, I was thinking about making some inspirational stickers, and I just wrote down some little sayings that I could possibly use. Near the end of the year, I started to, reflect on the past year. And so at this time, I was really thinking about what I want to accomplish in the new year. So I wrote down my resolutions here with some of my stats at the end of 2022. And as you can see, I've definitely grown quite a bit since then. And my shop has definitely surpassed some of these stats, which I am very excited to see. And I've noticed that I've just had incredible growth this year. And so I'm excited to see the difference for the end of this year and compare, the past few years. I also wanted to do a litoo drawing for my New Year's resolutions, so I sketched it out here, and I think it's really cute. And then I did some, more doodles of just other things with my trusty brush pen. I think these were all Instagram story suggestions on this side. And then because I redesigned my stickers, I also redesigned some of my packaging for a few of my sticker packs. And here I was just figuring out what that would look like, and I stuck in these random little flowers here. Here is more of the planning for Valentine's Day shop update things, and these were ideas for the products that I wanted to make. This one turned into a sticker, and also this one, and a few of these other ones did too. I also worked on including some Lunar New Year designs, and since it was the year of the rabbit, I made a couple of cute rabbit stickers. These ideas and stickers were going to be released at the same time as the Valentine's Day products. Then I did some more packaging design ideas, and also here's my to-do list for the shop update that I was working towards. Here are more of the Apple a Day sketches, and then a list of ideas for a coloring book. I tend to write down all my ideas down, and I often refer back to them, so I just put them anywhere I can find a space to do it. Then right back to quick doodles and sketches, and just having fun drawing different things and working on staying creative. Here's where I started working on some design ideas for St. Patrick's Day, and also my sketches for the February wallpaper freebie that I needed to create. And then I also started working on a small birthday collection that I was going to release also in February because that is my birth month. So these are ideas that I had, and on this side I put in the stickers for my Valentine's Day update just for memories. Then I had more ideas for products that I wanted to make, and I also had gotten myself a button maker, so I immediately started drawing out designs that I could make with it. So I then realized that I could print on my envelopes myself at home, so I sketched out what I wanted them to look like here, and then I just filled up the space that I have as I usually do. I added these much later, but on this spread, I was still working through my birthday card collection and the posts that I wanted to make for my birthday. I think that these were for an arts challenge that I wanted to join in, and then my go-to quick doodles on this side. Here are more of the Apple a Day series sketches and another one of my stickers. I can't remember if I didn't like what's underneath here or what was happening, but I guess that's where I'd wanted to stick that sticker down. Here, I just came back more recently to fill because there was nothing really happening on this page. So I used the space to do some quick drawings and cute little paintings. These are thumbnails for illustrations I was working on for an art challenge I was actually co-hosting back in March. And then here are more thumbnails, and also around this time I was working on my Notion template. And for the template, I wanted the banners for each month to have my own illustrations. So this is where I wrote down my list of ideas and then matched them to the month that I thought would work best. This was for, I think, a video that I was working on, and it was about how I was coming up with my ideas. And then I got a new pen. It's the Pilot Penmanship Fountain Pen, and I think it's about $10, and it's fairly cheap, and it uses ink cartridges. And here's just me being in love with this pen and becoming obsessed with it for a little while. I did quite a few quick doodles with it, and I was just having a lot of fun with creating these sketches that had much thinner lines. These sketches are some more quick sketches for ideas for another art prompt challenge that I was doing. And here I'm back for a little bit of my brush pen drawings. And on the right is where I was helping my brother with his math homework. I honestly just primarily used my sketchbook for quick doodles and sketches. Like this house, I added much later when I first got my set of Caran d'Ache water-soluble pastel crayons. I just really love them, and I wanted to use them very often. Okay, so more quick doodles, and I just really enjoy drawing whatever I see or think about in the moment, so they do kind of seem randomly placed now looking back at my sketchbook. And this spread is where I wanted to do some quick landscape drawings. I tried adding some color to them with colored pencils, but I just did not like how it was looking, and I'm not sure what was going on, so I just decided to stop and just move on. These were done with the same Pilot fountain pen that I had gotten, and I was just having a lot of fun with these little quick doodles. Then we have more sketches and doodles, and then I started to add some more stickers from one of my sticker sheets because I wanted to see them on some paper. And more doodles on this page, and I really like this tomato guy, and I'm actually just realizing that I forgot to put the A in tomato. But this was for another wallpaper design that I was making. I think this was for June, if I'm remembering correctly, and I wanted this one to be fruit themed. And over here we have some warm-up doodles. I really like how this pencil looks, and also this lemon. And on the top here, I drew this backpack, and I drew things that I would probably pack for a trip if I was traveling. So we have, my Switch, my phone, my iPad, my headphones, some little snacks, my pencil case, my notebook, my water bottle. It was just a cute idea that I had, and I like the way it looks. This is a more detailed sketch for the wallpaper idea that I was working on the previous page, and this one is actually one of my favorite designs that I've done, and also a really popular one. And then this time I also got a label printer, and I stuck in one of the stickers that I made with it here, and just finished this side with doodles. Then I was working on a back to school collection / shop update, so I wrote down a list of ideas and things that I needed to work out for that. Then here I was testing out my new sticker paper that I was using. I was thinking of bringing back a series of color your own stickers, so here I was just testing out if this paper would be good for that. And I still have yet to create them, but I think that would be a really fun idea that I actually did at the very beginning of my shop, so I do want to bring them back. This page is doodles of things that I just love redrawing, so we have the lemons and these houses and some fish. It doesn't really matter to me that the subjects of my drawings are repetitive. I actually enjoy redrawing things and seeing how I can make them a little bit different, or sometimes I just feel like drawing something for the sake of creating, and these are just my comfort go-to doodles, and it's what I do usually before working on larger, more detailed pieces that I need to think about more. For this chicken, I used the Caran d'Ache pastels, and I wanted to see how the colors blended together. Here is just another doodle of things that I really like, and this was the first time I drew this flower with the loopy stem, and it became another go-to thing for me to draw, actually. As you can already start to tell on this next spread, and so I wanted to do a larger drawing with my flowers and stems looping around, so I was very much obsessed with this idea. And I liked giving the flowers, different faces and expressions. At this point, I was nearing the end of the sketchbook, and I really wanted to fill the spaces, so I started doing these larger drawings again. So I did this underground drawing with, bugs and twigs and little rocks. And on this page, we just have a watermelon-inspired page. And then I wanted to draw these jars or glass bottles that would maybe hold some jam or juice. And I made the labels have, different fruits. And then we have another one of my favorite flowers to draw. For this one, I wanted it to look like there were more stems or veins in the background. So I used a gray marker for that to give it some more depth, I guess. I really like the idea for this spread, and I definitely want to come back to this and recreate it digitally on my iPad. I just really love how they look, and I have some ideas for more scenes that I want to create, and I think it will look really cool as a little neighborhood or something. I was really trying to get through the sketchbook, and I was just drawing so much during this time and was very excited to fill the pages with large doodles. Here I wanted to add some color, and I had the intention to draw on top of this paint, but I just liked the gradient, so I just decided to leave it as is. And on this page, I was testing out some new markers that I had recently purchased, so I drew a little flower with them. And so here I put some paint down because the markers bled through, and on top of it I drew this house with some patterns around it, and I did all this with Posca pens. I'm not really a big fan of how this page turned out, but it was just a nice relaxing page to do. And this apple in the hand was also done with marker, and I was just having fun experimenting with different types of new art mediums in here. And I just found myself really starting to feel inspired to add more color to my sketchbooks. These were done with Posca pens on top of some acrylic gouache, and on this page, it is all done with alcohol markers. This page was another one that I added paint to cover up the markers from the previous page, and this time I actually drew over it, and I just drew this silly looking burger doodle. And here's another sketch idea for another wallpaper design, but I ended up going with something a little bit different instead of this one. And then here I wanted to come back to the flowers that I love to draw, and I put down the primary colors with acrylic gouache, and I drew the flowers and stems on top with a white Posca pen. And that page actually inspired this next spread, and this one is probably my favorite pages of the sketchbook. I just feel like the colors really pop out of the page, and I really enjoy looking at it. Most of the page is done with acrylic gouache, and then I added some of the black details with the black brush pen that I love to use because I didn't have a very small paintbrush to get in there. This was actually when I got the Caran d'Ache wax pastels for the first time, and these were the first things that I drew with them, and I found myself really loving using them. They just feel very smooth, and they're kind of like drawing with crayons. This is a spread that I did for a Q&A/draw with me video that I did back in August, and I was just drawing just my usual doodles, but also trying to add some color here and there. Then I took a really long break using my sketchbook because I was actually working on my coloring book and some other shop things and products, so I didn't come back until the end of September when I had to work on my wallpaper design. And we also have sketches for Peachtober prompts that I wanted to participate in, but I realized that this year I wasn't feeling as ambitious as I had been before, and I decided that I wanted to take things easily this month. So I decided that I was only going to join in a few days here and there. Here are more sketch ideas for some of the prompts that I liked, but I was just realizing early on that I wasn't going to be doing that many entries. Getting the ideas down, though, were a fun exercise to go through, and I really like some of these ideas, but I wanted to take October at a much slower pace, so I just didn't want to overwhelm myself. Now we're in the part of the sketchbook where I was feeling motivated to finally get it done. I did these next few pages in just a day or so, and I was really focused on filling the pages quickly, so I first started with this pumpkin with the Caran d'Ache crayons. But I was feeling like I wanted to finish the final pages with what I know best to do, which is the brush pen doodles. I really like this idea of a sleeping house with ghosts flying around, and it's something that I would love to recreate digitally, so it's on my mind and things to do. I just wanted to add more details, and I don't want to mess up this page, so that's why I want to do it digitally. And on this page, I think it's really cute. I really love this little tomato and this loaf of bread, and I don't know, I just like these little doodles that I did amongst the bigger ones. And I was feeling very inspired to create these more themed, cohesive doodle spreads. Like on this side, we have more of a spooky Halloween vibe, and here you can really tell how much this book is falling apart as well. But on this side, we have more of a fall vibe. Then here I stuck in a print that I made because I was testing out some different paper, and this is printed on one of the papers that I'm not going to be using. So I didn't want to throw it out, so I just stuck it in here. And I also stuck in this sticker label because it printed a little weirdly, so here it is. And on this page, I drew in these funny looking worms. And this is actually the last spread. I know it's nothing too exciting, and I realize that I just can't continue or handle this book anymore. I mean, it's just kind of annoying how loose the pages are, you can see. The binding is coming out, and I don't want to accidentally rip it, and it's really not that big of a deal because I'll probably tape the pages in anyways. But this is the end of the sketchbook, and I really do like the Snoopy drawing that I did here, and the sardine tin, and this is something that I actually might also recreate digitally. But for the time being, I think this is the end of this sketchbook and also this tour. Thank you so much for joining me today. I hope that you enjoyed seeing my creations and hearing about how I use my sketchbook. I hope that you have a super amazing, wonderful week ahead of you. Thank you so much for watching and being here with me. It really means so much to me, and I truly appreciate you all.